No, we've done it, we've done it. We're rich, Wyatt. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, we did it, man. We did it. We did it. We're rich, man. We're retired in Florida now, mister.
You know, Billy, we blew it.
What? What? That's what it's all about, man. I mean, like, you know. I mean, you go for the big money, man, and then you're free. You dig?
We blew it. Good night, man.
Darkness at the break of noon, shadows even the silver spoon, the handmade blade, the child's balloon, eclipses both the sun and moon. Do you understand? You know too soon, there is no sense in trying. Pointed threats they bluff with scorn, suicide remarks are torn from the fool's gold mouthpiece, a hollow horn, blades wasted words prove to warn that he not busy being born is busy dying. Temptation page flies out the door. You follow, find yourself at war. Watch waterfalls of pity roar. You feel to moan, but unlike before, you discover that you just be one more person crying. So don't fear when you hear a foreign sound to your ear. It's alright, Ma, I'm only sighing.
Hey, Lord, look at him go. Hold on, Sam, we'll scare the hell out of him. Blow your brains out! Why don't you get a haircut? What happened?
Billy.
I got him.
Oh, my God. I'm going for help,
I
Billy.
got him. I'm gonna get him.
We better go back.
I'm gonna get him. We're ready now.
The river flows, it flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to some other town. All he wanted was to be free, and that's the way it turned out to be. Flow, river, flow. Let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to some other town. Go, river, go, past a shaded tree. Flow, river, flow, flow to the sea. Flow, river, flow, flow to the sea.
Barry, who was filming it, could see it through the lens. And I don't know why Dennis wanted to move the camera, but Dennis wanted to move the camera. Barry wanted to let it roll. And I could hear the argument. And finally, I go, shut up! It's in the film.
Shut up.
I was really into it. And it was, forget about making movies. I was into this thing about asking my mother this question.
Forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body.
I wanted it taken out of the film from the get-go. So it's in there, and history has its own way of working these things well, and it actually played well for me when I tried to convince Dylan to give me the first part of It's All Right, Ma. He had all these reasons why not to do it. I don't like my harmonica, I don't like this, I don't like this. Look, Bobby, you might not like your harmonica. I'm the producer of the film. It's truly my call to say, that's out. But I'm overridden by everybody else who's involved with this, saying it's in, and that's the part where I say to my mother, why did you cop out on me? I don't like that. It embarrasses me every time I see it, Bobby. It makes me very, very upset. But because it's there, and because I was convinced to do it at the moment, and then convinced to leave it in the film, I have to hear suicide remarks are torn from the fool's gold mouthpiece. The hollow horn plays wasted words.
Prove to warn that he not busy being born, is busy dying.
My mother cut her throat from ear to ear and had seen us on about it. I want to hear those lines. It blew his mind. He had no idea. No, and actually, I didn't do it to blow his mind. I was serious. I was passionate about it. And he had no way to argue that.
You feel to moan, but unlike before, you discover that you just be one more person crying.
We went to shoot the last campfire. The motorcycles had been stolen. This is why it's the only campfire you don't see a part of the motorcycles in.
We'd shot the whole movie, and I said, but there's one more scene that we have to shoot. And he says, no, we've shot them. We've completed the movie. And I get him out in the middle of the night. I said, we're shooting this scene. And he said, well, I'm not saying all that crap.
Dennis started out, I said, what do you want to say, man? Well, you know, I just want to say we blew it. Yeah, it's good. We have to say we blew it when we went for the big money, man, you know. We'll say we blew our hairs. No, I just want to say we blew it. And this boiled into an argument, you know, basically with Dennis. It's high level, high decibel.
And I said, well, then don't worry about it. You just say we blew it, and I'll say the rest. He said, well, how are you going to do that? I said, don't worry about it.
No, we've done it. We're rich, Wyatt. Yeah, man. We blew it.
I said, we'll shoot it two ways. First, we'll shoot it your way, then we'll shoot it my way. So we stepped out of the motorhome. I said, let's give each other a hug, and they'll just think we're nutty actors, having screamed ourselves into method acting the scene out. Dennis threw his arms around me. I love you, man. I love you, man. I said, I love you, man, and went down and shot the scene. I didn't see anything other than we blew it.
Hey, we did it, man. We did it. We did it. We're rich, man. We're retired in Florida now, mister.
The whole idea of retirement, it absolutely is abhorrent to me.
You know, we blew it.
The idea that people think we can retire. We have so damn much work to do here. I hear people saying, I'm going to retire. I want to say, fuck you. I want to get right in their face right away. How can you do that? When you see that tube going into the gas tank, I'm stuffing money into it. What's the symbol for you on that? Fucking the flag with money. Retirement.
That's what it's all about, man. I mean, like, you know. I mean, you go for the big money, man, and then you're free. You dig?
We blew it.
Dennis had always felt that I should have said more. I wanted to be enigmatic about it, and I still today want to be enigmatic about it. I mean, this is what had happened when I said we blew it without explanation. Everybody in the theater said, what does he mean we blew it? Well, the whole point is we don't let anybody out of this picture that way. You can't put it under the seat in the theater. You have to truck it home with you and figure it out. What did we do? Why did we say that? What happened? We were with these guys. They were so cool, and they're gone.
So don't fear when you hear a foreign sound to your ear. It's all right, Ma, I'm only sighing.
You blew whatever chance you had to become something good, something inspiring, something different.
Dennis and I were at a gas station and found this gentleman with a goiter on his neck, and Dennis said, get me him.
So I said, those are the two guys that I want to do the killing.
He said, but we need somebody with a pickup truck. Do you have a pickup truck? And he said, no, but my friend does. And he points out his friend from the back, and Dennis said, yeah, right, get him. So Dennis, we got them both, put them in the car, and, you know, Dennis told them what he wanted to do, basically, gave them roughly, you know, what they were supposed to say, and let them go. People would take their cars and come right at the bikes. And the bikes would have to go off the road sometimes when we're shooting. You know, and then they would scream and say, we're going to get our guns, we're going to come back, and we're going to shoot you.
Why don't you get a haircut?
Dennis wanted to extend the moment of the shotgun. The pickup truck went down on the road and started turning back. And suddenly we went into slow motion. And that was very, very effective, very scary, because you knew that they're going to get him. And they were firing right into the lens. I got a couple of kind of a little gunpowder on my forehead. It could have been dangerous because in order to enhance the gunfire, somebody stuffed napkin into the shell, so it gets more force. We did things, you know, like you're not supposed to do, but we didn't know because we were ignorant. We didn't have a special effect. We didn't have a gun specialist with us, you know, and, you know, so we had to just deal with it.
We wanted to do that helicopter shot. Now, we had no helicopter mounts, and we wanted it to be steady again. Kovacs was very nervous. Oh, the car, you know, it's going to be shaking all over the place.
We weren't able to get a strong helicopter. That was overlapped with Bobby Kennedy's assassination, and they wouldn't release it until the whole funeral was over. And that was this small helicopter, and this tire mount wouldn't even fit in a doorway where it should be. It fits in a larger helicopter. So the key grip came up with the idea he's going to build the car mount on the skids and put 2x12 planks across and put the helicopter mount on one side of the helicopter, and he counterbalanced with sandbags on the other side. And that was standing the pilot, and he was kind of looking at it and shaking his head. It's like, it won't fly. This helicopter has smaller engine than your Mustang. Well, that didn't feel very good for me, you know, because I had to ride this. My key grip just insisted, no, it's going to work. So he revs the engine up, and I feel in the cabin is going up, but the skids are not moving. The pilot says that won't work because we are overweight. I'd rather deal with taking off the sandbags, and I'll deal with the off balance. And that made me nervous because I'm on one side, and if it's off balance, the chopper could tip over. I said, I'm going to start going straight down on that road. And when I get over the wreck with the explosion, hopefully I'm going to have a wind. I can bite into it and going up, like sort of a 45. First of all, I didn't want to go 45. I said a steeper angle. It would be more dramatic. He says, I'll be lucky if I can go like 30 degree, maybe 45 if I have a good headwind. So, okay, let's try it. So we go back and we start going. And I said, there's no wind. So we just kept going forward. We tried 2-3 times, and I think the fourth time, he started yelling in the intercom. He says, I'm getting a wind, I'm getting a wind, you know. Says, okay, great. And he puts me right in the right attitude over the bike, and he just gets a bite and starts pulling up. And I'm opening the leads, getting wider and wider, and it just keeps going on. A wonderful steep angle, a little flame in the frame is almost invisible now. And on the left side of the frame, I see the bank of a river, and I start lifting the camera and leaving the scene of the wreck. And I keep yelling, keep going up, higher, higher, higher. And I hear the chopper just going like crazy. I still get the goosebumps, you know, because I remember every time I see the ending of this movie. I remember this how exciting, how difficult, and how tough was to make it, you know, but we made it.
Bobby Dylan said, what's the end of the movie mean to you? I wasn't ready for that question. As well, you know, you see there's the road that man builds, and we can see that. And then there's the river, and that's the road that God builds. You know, so you can see what happens on the road that man builds. So he just picked up a pad. That river flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, flow past the green shady tree. Flow, river, flow to the sea.
The river flows, it flows to the sea. Wherever that river goes, that's where I want to be. Flow, river, flow, let your waters wash down. Take me from this road to side.